My jaw dropped for a Second Amendment to be suspended. It's unconstitutional. We got to put it that way. A lot of people feel that way, said Derek. Now, here's the funny thing about no rights are absolute. Yes, it means due process of law, not I hereby decree you can't keep and bear arms in defiance of your own state's constitution and your federal constitution, our federal constitution. So this is the story that we got. Sheriff in New Mexico's most populous county rejects governor's gun ban, calling it unconstitutional. Reject, because what does that really mean? The current rumor that we're hearing, and I think I have it here from the paper. I don't know what this publication is. I'm not familiar with it. I don't know how accurate this is. All I know is this is being circulated. It may or may not be true. Take it with a grain of salt. However, in it, they say that they reached out. It's the paper in Albuquerque. That's what it's called, the paper. Reached out to Carolyn Sweeney, a Lujan Grisham spokeswoman, who said the order is being enforced and citations will be forthcoming from the state police. To ensure officer safety, we will not be providing additional details at this time. So I'm wondering if the move they make is to pull up videos of people who were openly carrying and then privately go after them. So imagine this. Someone goes to the rally and they're openly carrying legally, but the governor has issued a decree. They're on camera, facial recognition, whatever. They know who the person is. They issue a warrant for their arrest, and under what law or whatever. It's not going to be for open carrying. There's going to be some violation like defiance of public health emergency, section whatever. The cops are going to show up to the guy's house and say, we have a warrant for your arrest for, defiance of executive order, and list a bunch of charges, none of which will be having a gun. Then the person's going to be like, what are you talking about? And the cop's going to say, listen, man, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you did. I know you're under arrest. So while many people are saying the cops won't enforce this, cops will defy it. I'm like, yeah, but what happens when some random 28-year-old cop is told we got a warrant for a guy on disorderly conduct, felony disorderly on state grounds? And he goes, sounds good to me. They're going to start getting arrested. But we'll see. I'm glad to see that people are standing up to this. It's blowing up in the governor's face. Democrats are angry about it, but
Well, it should blow up in the governor's face. This is another one of these lead through crisis situations. We saw this with Biden. We saw this. Kamala Harris was talking about this. They were listing off, this was pre-COVID even. They were listing off public health emergencies. They were talking about climate change, public health emergency, racism. Then they threw COVID into the mix. They threw guns into the mix. And it's like you were saying, like as soon as you declare something a public health emergency, they start suspending all of our civil liberties. And you remember even during COVID, you had sheriffs and police officers saying that they were not going to enforce lockdown orders, but people were getting arrested anyway. There's still people who have been charged with that stuff and been prosecuted. And that stuff stands.
Yeah. And I would say I love 2A people. Like this idea that there's just a bunch of them like openly carrying guns and everything is fine. Like you're not hearing anything about any violence that came out of this rally. I think it's such an interesting display because if the government of New Mexico is taking such a drastic and expansive interpretation of public health emergency, it's cool to see them say, well, we're just going to protest and demonstrate publicly rather than say, well, I'm scared of what will happen. I think that's the sort of only, white pill in this situation.